there, it's Amanda here from Lolli Lulu Crafts, and today we are doing our monthly Cards for Men series, and today's card is going to be coming from this great Kanban Hobbies and Interests kit. So we're going to be starting off with a hunky-dory card base that is 7 inches by 7 inches, and I'm going to mat onto that a piece of this silver mirror paper, which I am cutting down to 6 7/8 of an inch square, which gives this gorgeous little gap, just a nice small mat. And then I've got a piece of cardstock from the kit that complements our toppers, and we're going to cut that down to mat, and we're going to cut that down to 6 3/4 of an inch square, and that mats up on top of our silver mirror, and again just giving a small 1/8 of an inch gap, so it's just a nice delicate layering there. So then I'm just using my tape pen. This is quite a light mirror paper. It's a paper, not a board. So the tape pen is going to be just fine to stick this down. So then we've stuck down our second layer, our snow scene, and it's created a really nice matten layer on the front there, but it's given quite a bit of weight on the front compared to the back, so I wanted to just add a little of something to the inside just to balance that up, but it also just makes the inside look really nice. So I've added a little bit more of the mirror board paper rather to the inside, and then a different piece of board from the kit. It's just a nice sort of soft grey blue with almost like a little dot on it. You can barely see it on that camera there, it's such a delicate dot, but it's just like a little snow scene, and that just evens the weight out, as well as making it just look really nice on the inside when the person who receives it opens it up. Okay, so the next thing that we're doing is creating a sort of turned corner. Now I probably should have cut the corner off before I stuck this front piece down, but anyway, it doesn't really matter, so we just cut that off. And then I decided that I really actually wanted to have almost like a matte layer of the silver, so I've just taken a piece of the scrap silver and I'm cutting myself another sort of corner, which we will then stick down over the corners of the silver that's there, but slightly offsetting it so it looks like it's matted and layered. Now what I wanted to achieve was a look as if when the card had been turned over, it's as if the corner has been turned over. I wanted it to look like the inside of that card was a different colour. Now if you had a double-sided card then that would be fine, but because mine isn't, what I did was I took a piece of that grey dotty cardstock that I used on the inside, and then I cut a corner, so as you can see it looks like I've turned that corner over and it's a different colour, which I think looks really effective. So next I'm just using my tape pen and I'm adhering that silver piece down, so giving that matte and layered look. Now in order to make it look like that piece had actually been folded over, I just wanted to curl that corner that I'd cut, so I curled it one way and then the other to make it almost look like a little wave. So you can see there, so it's going to look like it's come up and then come back down again. Next I want to pierce a hole in the corner there because I'm going to add that little charm, and I'm going to use a brad that I'm just going to push through the top of the hole of that charm and then through the corner, and again we're just faking that it's actually going through the whole card and holding it in position. So we're just folding those little tails back out of the way, and then we're going to actually use glue gel to adhere our corner in position. Now you can see I've put quite a lot in there because I want to ensure that that wave in inverted commas stays up, so we want to make sure that even if it gets pushed in the post that there's something underneath it and it's going to hold it in place. So we're just very carefully positioning it so that it really does look like it has curled over, and as you can see it looks really effective, and I don't think you could almost tell that that was a separate piece of card. And then you've got our little metal charm added as well, which looks so cool, I think. So the next thing I want to do is add a border of that grey dotty paper to the front of the card. So I've just cut a piece 2 inches wide by 6 3/4 because I want it the same width as the snow scene piece of card, so it's just that width. And then I'm just positioning it with regards to the toppers so I can just judge exactly how high up the card I want it to be. And now I'm using my Cosmic Shimmer glue to stick it down because it's a piece of card, as I did with the cardstock on the front of the card here. I use Cosmic Shimmer because it's a really nice strong glue, and again, just before I absolutely stick it down, it gives me a little wriggle room as well, so I can just check it against where I think I'm going to put the toppers. Now for the toppers, I want them raised up, so I'm going to use some fun foam and use that to raise them up. So all I've done here is I've put the topper onto the foam, moved it over slightly so that I can cut around it, but no, it's just very slightly smaller than the topper. It happens that this particular fun foam is self-adhesive, so I can stick down one side and just attach that to my topper. For the second topper, I want it to be double thickness, so I've cut 2 squares of foam and I'm going to stick those onto the back of the topper, one on top of each other. However, because I want them to overlap slightly, we do need to take a corner off the one that has the double thickness of foam in order that it will sit comfortably against the first one, because otherwise it will kind of sit slightly wonky. So I just did a guesstimate as to where that will be. Again, it probably would have been easier to do that beforehand and just chop a corner off, but it's so easy to do anyway, and at least you get a good idea of where you want to cut it off if you do it afterwards. And then you can just check against it like that to make sure that it is going to sit where you want it to, and you can see now how that is going to sit over the top of the other one and sit nice and flat. So now, grabbing my favourite glue, of course, my Cosmic Shimmer, I'm putting some adhesive on the dropped down piece and then also onto the second layer, and then across the whole of the foam on the single layered topper. And then I'm actually going to kind of put them down at the same time in order to make sure that I get the positioning right, because otherwise you end up putting down one and then you're like, oh, that wasn't quite how I wanted it to be, and then it's too late because it's already stuck down. This way at least you have half a chance of kind of wriggling them around into position. That's those done, and I think that looks really fab. I love the way that it all kind of shines and comes together. Anyway, now a final touch, we're going to add a couple of buttons. I've got a gorgeous one in kind of the orangey peachy tones of the outfit of our snowboarder, and I've just added a little bit of twine to that. And then I've got 2 slightly different buttons in the grey blue tones. One's a kind of see-through one and one's a more solid button, and I'm just sticking those down using some of my Pinflair glue gel, which is my next favourite glue. I think that and Cosmic Shimmer are my favourite glues. I love them. And so just popping those down. I know it's a guy's card, but that doesn't mean you can't add embellishments. I think if you just do it sort of gently, not kind of over the top, then it can still work really well. And I think a couple of buttons will look fine on this card and that is it, finished. And I think that has turned out really, really well. I'm pleased with the whole look. I really like the way the 2 sort of toppers come together. I love the corner there, and you've got that embellishment there again. I think being metal, I think that works for a guy's card just fine. It just gives a bit of added interest. And then when we turn to the inside, again, it's got something on the inside but still quite simple. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this month's Cards for Men video. I hope you like the finished card. Do make sure you go on over to the corresponding blog post if you're on YouTube. The link is below this video because you'll see lots more photos and additional information. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. I will see you again soon. Bye for now. Bye!